pleased to be here talking about the developments in 5G and some real cases that have actually happened here in India and what Airtel has been able to achieve, particularly when it comes to industrial applications. And I'm glad that I'm presenting when it's coming close to about 2 years of launch of 3G, when Airtel launched it in India. Now, as I talk about it, I would like to draw parallels with some of the major technological transitions that have happened globally. Because 5G happens to be a major transition when it comes to mobile wireless. Enough has been talked about its capabilities and what it can do. I started my career about 30 years ago here in India. I was part of the organization that started Internet services. And when the Internet services were launched, in short term, there was a huge hype around what it could do, which led to a bit of disappointment by the time it became 2001, because a lot of new businesses were launched, which believed in something that could be done. And after that, there was significant growth since 2001, and we all know how Internet has really transformed things. Same has been the case with mobile wireless. In fact, while 3G was launched later in India, first launch of commercial 3G actually happened in Japan when NTT Docomo launched it. It took almost 6 to 7 years for the first real commercial smartphone to happen. And we all know how that has transformed our lives, how we work, how we live, and how we entertain ourselves. In fact, it led to many parallel industries. 5G within mobile wireless space is expected to do the same. And as I mentioned, I'm really glad that I'm presenting after 2 years, because when first 5G was launched, typical question was, what is a killer application? So those killer applications have slowly started happening. And what I expect is that over a period of time, 5G combined with some of the interesting emerging technologies, particularly around artificial intelligence, the developments in IoT space, semiconductor industry, and broader software-defined space will lead to more and more innovations. And now, I would quote actually Roy Amara at this stage. He was a futurist who basically stated that we overestimate the impact of a technology in short run, but underestimate its impact in longer run. It's likely to happen for 5G as well. To touch upon what we have actually done, I'll take 3 specific cases. 5G offers a lot of technology capabilities to the network, creates scale, speed, latencies talked about, but there are 3 specific features which have led to some very unique use cases in the industry. While we've been working with multiple verticals within India, I'll pick first the case of a manufacturing organization. It's a discrete manufacturing organization where we have deployed private 5G, leading to autonomous mobile robots. There is smart surveillance, leading to a lot of Industry 4.0 applications. In this space, in fact, in this specific case, as you can imagine, in a discrete manufacturing environment, there are multiple devices which are deployed to make manufacturing possible. And if each of those areas, the transducers are IoT enabled, the data that is collected makes that manufacturing environment really, really effective and productive. And that's what we've been able to achieve there. We obviously use a combination of edge computing and 5G capabilities to make that happen. Then second case I would pick up is of emergency response. It's from healthcare industry, where we have enabled a 5G enabled ambulance. So as patients are en route to the hospital, we can virtually transport doctors to the ambulance, providing critical care at a very important time when actually the transportation is happening towards the hospital. Now, it has saved many lives. It is pretty much at a pilot stage at this stage, but it can really scale well. And it is thanks to features like ultra-reliable, low-latency communication, which is offered by 3G. It would not have been possible in the previous generations of mobile wireless. Similarly, we have also piloted a remote colonoscopy powered by AI, which once again uses capabilities of the 5G network, where an expert is able to provide guidance on colonoscopy, in fact, drive the instrument to get right results, which obviously is part of preventive care. And finally, I would also pick up a case from, which is a relatively simpler case, where we have taken a large retail organization with more than 6,000 retail presence to provide fixed wireless access and fiber combination, to provide retail presence in locations where it would have been simply impossible without the presence of 5G. And this is all working in coordination. It leverages on its right data models, et cetera, and we are also using some insights to plan for right retail locations. But these are just some examples. As I mentioned earlier, the impact of 5G will unfold more and more as it is combined with some of the adjacent technologies. And as Arun mentioned earlier, when some of these technologies are deployed, we look at the benefits of it, but it also needs to be deployed with a caution, especially as the world gets more connected and there are multiple IoT devices. The threat surface also increases. So cybersecurity is a very critical element that needs to be thought of. In fact, in each of these deployments, as we went for the design of it and deployment, one has looked at, we have very carefully looked at the cybersecurity aspect, which also fundamentally changes architecture-wise versus how it was done in past. For example, if you look at typical cybersecurity software and hardware, the way it has traditionally worked is that you would put the cybersecurity services, right from firewall, IDS, IPS, the whole stack of cybersecurity, at the place which needs to be protected. For example, you'll have firewalls at the location that needs to be protected. Or if an endpoint has to be protected, you'll put the software there. Similarly, if you want to protect the cloud environment, you'll put the cybersecurity software there. What happens in case of IoT is that at the location that needs to be protected, which is the IoT device, the processing power is not much. So you cannot actually put a sophisticated cybersecurity software there. So fundamentally, what you need to then do is to take the cybersecurity software centralized in the cloud, and the location of where the cybersecurity services come from and what gets protected are very, very different. So when we look at 5G use cases and applications, especially as it gets deployed in industrial environment, one has to look at not just how we'll make it productive and effective, one has to also look at how you're going to protect that environment. Because as the world gets more and more connected, it also becomes more and more vulnerable. And 5G definitely should not be seen as just speeds and latency. It is actually the catalyst which will drive innovation in manufacturing and healthcare and all kinds of industries. And it is likely to change the way how we live, how we work, how we entertain ourselves. The real impact will be seen when 5G is combined with technologies around artificial intelligence, IoT, semiconductor, which are all evolving in parallel. The reason why smartphones did not happen as soon as 3G was launched was because the smartphone technology, the semiconductor technology had not developed till 2007 or 8. When all of them came together, it became possible. Same is going to be the case with 5G. We are already observing that developments in narrowband IoT-related NIC cards, the development in smart meters, the development in biomedical instruments which are IoT-enabled, coming together with 5G is creating some of these very interesting applications. Airtel happens to be at the forefront of this transformation, and we intend to play a key role in creating the right infrastructure for a digital India. It's just beginning of the journey, and we'll make sure that we explore the areas which are currently not seen as possible to grow this business. Thank you.